All right, I'd like to talk a little bit about today about blockchain technology. Enterprise blockchain, as I've contended through the previous videos, I've contended that it has the potential to literally transform the way business is done. And today we're going to talk a little bit about how it can be done on a global scale. So I want to discuss the various technological issues that surround using blockchain in a business. Now, understand from a technical perspective, blockchain doesn't have any currently accepted definitions or standards. No ISO body has placed, International Standards Organization, or any standards body has placed any sort of stamp of approval on a particular way that blockchain should be implemented. So blockchain needs to be used by businesses to address transactional issues, auditability, visibility of the data, and integration between various business functions. Blockchain is a cryptographic database technology. It was first introduced with Bitcoin, we know that, but has since been recognized as a platform that can remove middlemen and do that in all industries. There's really not very many industries out there that don't at least have a supply chain, and supply chain can be greatly benefited by blockchain. And there's a lot of industries that have compliance issues where they have to comply with particular data regulations to protect their data and to make sure that their data is accurate and auditable. And in all of those cases, business can be greatly benefited by blockchain. So more blockchain business models are really being deployed every single day. So according to the authors of Blockchain for Business, there are 4 building blocks to using a blockchain network in business. First is a distributed or shared ledger technology. These ledgers assure that all the transactions are recorded and can't be changed. Enterprise blockchains can account for regulations concerning privacy of consumer data and other benefits concerning the management of data. Then there's cryptographic protocols. Cryptography accomplishes several tasks in a blockchain network. Security during the transport of data, hashing functions that are created in order to secure the data after it's been recorded in each block, data and packet encryption, authentication, and the verifiability of those transactions that it puts in there. The third major building block is consensus or trust systems. So within the blockchain, part of the rule-making process is how consensus is going to be built. Now, what consensus is just a group decision-making process that creates transaction finality. In general, a trust system is the common term for a consensus process. Cryptography, of course, then plays a critical role in the consensus process and delivers trust, security, transactionality, trade, and ownership. Permissionless public networks like Bitcoin have a high degree of computational cost associated with keeping the network secure. Private networks have less, but businesses need to consider this when creating the business system design. Now, chain code or smart contracts or business rules, those 3 terms tend to be interchangeable in the blockchain network, is the 4th critical block, building block for blockchain. Now, blockchains, understand, can run code, which means that in any blockchain you can actually, while creating each block, execute certain codes that deal with security, deal with information and pulling data forward to a form, can actually create the form and record other data and collate and compile other pieces of data that are necessary for the particular portion of the blockchain that's being recorded at the time. Early blockchains developed for cryptocurrencies merely computed and kept a ledger of coin transactions, for example. But in that respect, it still had to compute how many coins went to one place. They still had to reach back into the chain code and into the previous blocks to see that the person would not be able to double spend any coins. So it had to do a certain amount of computation also. Now, business blockchains can perform very complex operations depending on the needs of the businesses. So, in essence, what we're talking about here is the technology isn't really fully vetted yet. It's really being invented as we go. IBM is probably the leading player in the blockchain technology. A lot of the enterprise and, in fact, global blockchains that you see being implemented have IBM involved in some manner or form. So remember those four building blocks: a distributed ledger, cryptographic protocols, consensus, building a trust system, and then code that can run to build smart contracts and maintain business rules. So if you have questions beyond what I've been able to cover here today, please record them in the comments. I'll try to answer them in future videos, and please be sure to subscribe. Thanks.